that's a bad play call. We shouldn't have called that play. That's on me.
Flacco turns, gives it to the rookie. Judkins into the end zone. It's a Cleveland touchdown. On the right hash, Daniel Whelan the hold. The kick is blocked. It is blocked. The Browns get the swat. Good snap. Good hold. The kick is on the way. The kick is good. The kick is good. And Andre Schmidt from 55 to give the Browns a 13-10 win.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth. Talk about it, we all about it. They making plans, we sit and count. Our chair is stacked just like a mountain. You heard about it.
Was this weekend a fever dream? Did I have a fever dream on Saturday and on Sunday when it comes to Wisconsin football? I got a hangover today, and I guess I'm hoping that it was all in my imagination. Hold on, let me check. Google. No. Sure wasn't.
Combined 17-point favorites didn't win either game.
Yikes.
17.5, excuse me. I don't want to forget the hook on the Packer game.
I suppose we may get to the debacle that was the Badgers' loss to Maryland as well this weekend, but let's begin with the one that's more recent in our memory. Green Bay Packers falling to the Cleveland Browns yesterday. 13-10, the final score. By the way, it was 10-0 with 4 minutes to play. Now, that's not good. But, Gabe, I believe the analytics, those predictors, I believe they had like a 93% chance to win the game, leading 10-0 with 4 minutes to go. I suppose this is why they say any given Sunday, huh? Any given Sunday, any team can beat any team.
Well, because you're watching that game, there's no way this Browns team is scoring a touchdown. Yeah, maybe they can get into field goal range, and obviously, as we saw at the end of the game, their kicker's got a strong enough leg to boot a long one, but you thought that there was no chance that Browns team was going to be in a position to score a touchdown. Just wasn't going to happen. The way that the Packers defense had played all game, the only way the Browns are scoring a touchdown is if you gift them an incredibly short field.
And
they got gifted an incredibly short field.
And we're going to get to breaking down all of the little things that ultimately led to the Packers losing their first game of the season. But I got to get to this very quickly. Joshy puts together a show sheet for us every single day. He does a fantastic job with it. It's very much the Alexander and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Listen to the adjectives that Joshy listed on the show sheet this morning. It says preposterous, sloppy, ugly, embarrassing, frustrating, angering. Fair.
Et cetera, et cetera. Not even just one et cetera. He needed to use the second et cetera to drive home the point even further.
I stopped myself because I realized I could just keep going, and I was just going to
And that would be the entire show sheet? That would just be a piece of paper like this, just full of all the different adjectives that you could think of describing how bad things were for the Packers.
I assume on some level, Joshy, it was cathartic to be able to tappity-tap out those words talking about the Green Bay Packers. And look, I think what's frustrating this morning, and I'll try to speak for Packers Nation here, is that they look so good the first 2 weeks of the season. And yes, I believe that they went into this game against the Browns a little complacent. I know Matt LaFleur said they didn't. I know Jordan Love said they didn't. I don't believe them. I think they went into this game thinking we could roll in at 50%, 60%. Hell, maybe we throw a 75% together and we're going to beat this team. And I don't understand how you could go in with that mindset knowing that you were facing one of the best defenses so far this year. I mean, Myles Garrett and company are legit. And so there's nothing, Gabe, that you're going to tell me that's going to convince me that they didn't go into this thinking, hey, we don't have to be 100%. We can go in, we can sort of just show up, and we're going to be 3-0 at the end of the day.
I guess I disagree with that. The Browns defense is that good, and the Packers realized it to the point where they put 2 offensive linemen out there right away. Zach Tom felt like he had to play and blasted one play, and the oblique reared its ugly head, and who knows how many more games he's going to miss now after trying to play through that injury. So the offense has not looked that sharp through 2 games. Now, they certainly scored enough points The defense put them in some really good spots. They hit enough big plays. But we even walked away from those two games, despite the dominating performance that the Packers had against the Lions and the Commanders, going, they probably left like 7 to 10 points out there. And then when your offense is playing like that, and then you play one of the best defenses in the league, and you get beat up on the offensive line the way that they were, and Jordan Morgan was horrific yesterday. Had a real bad day. Whether he was at right tackle, whether he was at guard, whether he was on special teams, it was a bad day for Jordan Morgan yesterday. And when your offensive line gets pushed around like that, and your offense isn't as sharp as you'd like it to be through the first 2 weeks, this is what happens. When you're a team that leaves out points, when you have those opportunities against the Lions and Commanders, if you're not sharp, that defense can expose it. And that's exactly what the Browns did yesterday from a defensive standpoint. Now, the Packers also have one of the best defensives in the league, and you're thinking, okay, they're going to survive this, but there are still so many things you have to clean up on offense. And then, as you pointed out, the last 4 minutes happened.
800-990-3776. We're taking your reaction all morning long. So who do you blame? Look, there's plenty of blame to go around. I look at the penalties and say, you can't have 14 penalties. And what was the number of was it half of them that came in the fourth quarter? You know, when you need to lock it down, when you need to be like, okay, things have not gone our way today. We have not played a clean football game. But hell, we are 1 quarter away from leaving here 3-0. We are up 10-0, like I said, towards the end of that quarter. How in the world are you going to be making pre-snap penalties? How in the world are you going to be shooting yourself in the foot over and over and over again? Do you blame the aggressiveness of putting a guy like Zach Tom out there on the offensive line when he was obviously not even close to 100% healthy, given the fact that he went out after, what was it, the first series of the game? Right?
First play of
the game for Zach Tom.
He lasted 1 play.
Do you blame the offense? Look, Jaden Reed's not going to be out there. Is he that significant that this offense can't figure it out? Josh Jacobs can't run the ball, which again, you knew that it was going to be difficult against this Browns front. You knew that running the ball was going to be tough. And frankly, it has been tough for the first 3 games of the season. It's been tough getting the run game going.
That's where I look at the offensive line. The offensive line hasn't been what we thought it was going to. Even the starters, even when healthy, they haven't been what we thought that they could be. I mean, Rasheed Walker has been, I think, about as good as Rasheed Walker can be. There's going to be a couple of penalties here and there. He's not one of those top 5 offensive linemen. Zach Tom's one of your best. He missed all of last week, missed basically all of this week as well because he played 1 play. Who knows how much longer he's going to be out for. And Elton Jenkins, somebody that they thought could be an all-pro type center. I don't think Elton's really played that well through 3 games. Certainly didn't play well yesterday. And when your offensive line is playing that poorly, it's tough to do anything. Jordan Love, because it's not even just the running numbers. 31 carries for 81 yards, 2.6 yards per carry.
Yeah.
It's not even just the running yards.
2.6.
Jordan Love was running for his life yesterday. He got sacked 5 times.
Yes.
Like, this offensive line was able to hold up okay in the first couple of games. They were terrible yesterday, and they need to figure it out.
Okay.
You can't do anything offensively if your offensive line is playing that poorly.
It is a salient, relevant point by you. My question to you is this. Do you feel like they can fix it? Do you feel like the offensive line is going to be their Achilles heel for the rest of the season because they have these guys injured, because the depth that we thought that they had at those positions isn't necessarily there? Do you chalk it up as Browns are really, really good defensively? They're really, really good defensively. It was a bad matchup. It was a bad day for them to have a bad day. Or do you think this is going to linger as the season goes on, Gabe?
I think it's going to be a problem we have to keep an eye on. I think Jordan Morgan's going to be better. I think it's tough, and we've heard Brian Bulaga, we've heard Mark Tauscher talk about this, about having to bounce around on the offensive line, because he was at right tackle, that wasn't going well. He ended up having to go to left guard because Banks got injured. Different injury, came in with an ankle, left with a groin, so it's not the situation that we saw with Zach Tom. And things started rough for Anthony Belton. I think they got better as the game went on. I think the more Belton plays, the better he's going to be. Same thing with Jordan Morgan. But again, to me, the more concerning thing is, what the hell's going on with Elton? Because there was a lot of interior pressure yesterday. They had there was one of the sacks from Graham where Elton, it was a lookout block. It was just, hey, look out. He just completely whiffed on the block. So I think it should be able to get better because Elton Jenkins, we thought, was one of their best players heading into this season. But that offensive line, if they can't figure it out, if they can't find a way to run the ball better and more efficiently, this is going to be an up and down season on the offense.
Reaction rolling in already this morning as everybody wants to get something off their chest. 800-990-3776. That, of course, is the Carbless talk and text line. You can also weigh in on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube stream, and that is already popping this morning. Dave from Aaron weighing in saying, we knew it was going to be a low-scoring game, but those costly penalties and the Love turnover was the difference. You got to move on and off to Dallas. I don't know if it's that simple. Because, Gabe, what you just said, there's going to be some tweaking, there's going to be some moving, there's going to be some figuring out on that offensive line in order to feel confident going into. Now, again, I watched the Dallas game. I watched Chicago win. I know that Dallas isn't very good, but neither were the Browns. Browns were not very good either. So now I'm sitting here going,
if you can't get the offense right against the Cowboys, we're going to be sitting here next Monday. I mean, we might have to start the show at 6 a.m. We might have to just run past Wilde and Tausch because it is going to be a 5-alarm panic fire.
So you're not there yet?
No, I'm not there yet. If this offense looks like this against the Cowboys, Russell Wilson's been washed for how many years at this point? 3? And he threw for a career high last week against that Cowboys team. They were talking about Caleb Williams after 2 weeks in Chicago. Man, this Bears team might be bad enough. They might have to draft a quarterback next year. And then what did Caleb do yesterday? 4 touchdowns, nearly 300 yards, lit up that Cowboys defense. So the Cowboys defense should not present much of a challenge next week on Sunday Night Football. But if it does, then we need to have some more serious conversations about this offense.
Well, you just mentioned the schedule, playing Sunday Night Football. Obviously, the Packers were playing the Thursday night game last week. They play on Sunday this week. There are people looking at that going, mini bye? Matt LaFleur, mini bye? How are you so bad off of these buys and mini buys? You have extra time to prepare for a team, and this is how you look coming out of it? I think that is a valid criticism for the Green Bay Packers this morning as well. Chef Ed weighing in saying this game totally falls on LaFleur. That was the worst play calling and 14 penalties, clock mismanagement, 10 days to prepare, inexcusable. Love should have never been passing on that third down play. Run, punt, make him go 80 yards for a touchdown. That from our friend Chef Ed. And it's just, oh, wow, now they're coming in fast and furious. You know when you start looking at the Carbless talking text line and you're reading something and it's just popping and moving and jumping on you? I will continue to get to the reaction as it rolls in this morning. But let's go out to the phone lines as well because folks want to be heard this morning also. Mike in Ohio, you're on with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Your reaction to the Packers' loss to the Browns, 13-10 in Cleveland yesterday.
Yeah, honestly, listen, it was a terrible loss, obviously, but I think people are overreacting just a tad bit. I knew it was going to be an issue once the offensive line got all jacked up. And honestly, you guys really underestimated the Browns defense. They've been legitimately a top 5 defense, the last 3 years. It's more than just Myles Garrett. I believe Gabe said he thought Denzel Ward was underrated. Listen, I watch every Browns game. That's a hell of a defense. They've got a crappy offense. Once they get Reed back, once they get Watson back, that speed, solidify that offense. And obviously, Jordan's a knucklehead sometimes. Can't make that pass. Not going to defend that. They're going to be all right. Teams have these bad losses.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
And they do. And I was of the thinking that because I respected the Browns offense, but I also saw them last week give up 41. And a lot of that was because their offense made some pretty terrible mistakes against a Baltimore team. I thought that the Packers defense was good enough that there's no way the Browns could score enough points. And the defense wasn't an issue yesterday. I had zero. I guess I don't have that many notes for the defense. I really don't.
My only note for the defense, if I'm being honest with you, Gabe, was that they sort of let Quinshawn Judkins run all over the place late in the game. That was my biggest concern.
He had one run for 38 yards.
But it felt like every time they needed to move the chains, they were moving the chains late in the game. And part of it was the run game. And I think I had saw some number like 97 rush yards in the first 2 games, and I think they gave up 96. Again, a great number. I'm not going to sit here and say under 100 yards for the opponent on the ground is bad. I'm just saying that late in the game, when you need to lock it up and you need to keep them from moving the chains, it would have been nice to see a little bit more of an effort there from them.
You give up 13 points in an NFL game, you should win that game. You should win that game.
I also think it went unrecognized that Devontae Wyatt is hurt and wasn't playing. That interior and the defensive line wasn't as good against the run than we see.
When they don't have Devontae, they lack size.
Yes.
They lack size on that interior. And that's the downside of trading away Kenny Clark is You had two big guys, you traded away one, and you're kind of lacking size and experience now at that position. And if somebody like Devontae Wyatt gets hurt, you can be susceptible to things like that.
Couldn't agree more on the Kenny Clark point that you just made. Hopefully this is a reset and a wake-up call for our Packers, says Ronnie in the 262. They're good, but they have a lot to work on and improve. My bigger concern is Jordan Love. I personally think we've crowned him too soon. I'm not convinced he isn't just a guy, probably in the 8 to 12 ranking range as an NFL quarterback. Not good enough to make you a serious Super Bowl contender. I'd like to sit on that for the next segment of the program, 800-990-3776, because Homer went on a rant yesterday about our guy, Jordan Love. We're going to hear from Homer and get your reaction to what he had to say yesterday on the postgame show right after this on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Cheez-It, the legendary snack cracker. It's now available as a frozen pizza. And as you might imagine, each crust, a giant original Cheez-It flavored cracker that's square-shaped, because that's what Cheez-Its are. So it has to be a square-shaped pizza. It's ultra-thin, super crispy, and has that perfect amount of Cheez-It flavor to kind of complement everything else that you're used to when it comes to a Palermo's pizza, because this is a Palermo's premium pizza. So each of the crust flavors, again, they're fantastic. Whether you're looking for the Italian 4-cheese, cheddar jack supreme, or the pepperoni, and it has one of the shortest bake times. So you go from freezing to cheesing in as few as 8 minutes. Now, again, when I was talking about this with Strofe, he said his is 9, so, 8-9 minute range depending upon your oven. Find Cheez-It frozen pizza in your grocer's frozen pizza section. Cheez-It is now a frozen pizza.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We have an accident on eastbound 94, right about at Holly Road, that's blocking the left lane. We've got delays coming in from before Highway 100 all the way to Holly Road. Westbound is backing up out of the Marquette all the way to Holly Road as well. Westbound 894 backed up from Forest Home all the way into the Hale interchange. As you swing northbound, it's going to stay slow all the way up to National Avenue. Lake Lawn Resort offers everything you need, from lakeside rooms to gourmet dining and a luxurious spa. Relax, recharge, and enjoy the best of Delavan. Book your stay now at lakelawnresort.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, partly cloudy skies, warm and humid, chance for afternoon showers or storms, a high of 78. Tonight, chance of showers and storms, mostly cloudy, a low of 62. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Get your golf fix every Tuesday night at 6 with On the Tee.
Spieth is probably going to, embarrass me at some point. The hell do you know? Shut up and carry the bag.
Join Gabe Neitzel and Stephen Watson as they dissect all things pro golf and tell the tales of their own golfing journeys in Wisconsin.
I think it's golf in its purest form, and I think it should bookend the golf season.
Go On the Tee with Gabe and Stephen, sponsored by Majestic Oaks at Lake Lawn Resort and Gruber Law Offices. Tuesday nights at 6 on 94.5 ESPN and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Back to school means back to savings with Exterior Pros and Baths. Right now, get $3,000 off your roofing, siding, windows, or bath project during their fall savings event. Don't wait. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com to claim your $3,000 savings and book your free estimate. Exterior Pros and Baths, Wisconsin's trusted home improvement experts. Trust the pros.
Hi, I'm Jim Frucci, Managing Partner and PGA Professional at Morningstar Golfers Club, and I'd like to personally invite you to play your next round of golf at Morningstar. Lush green fairways, velvet smooth greens, magnificent vistas from high above our championship golf course. Morningstar was created with the serious golfer in mind, and it continues to be the public course by which all other area public courses are measured. Book your tee time today and reserve a spot on our membership wait list. Come out and see what all of Southeast Wisconsin's been talking about. Hey, you played the rest. Now play the best.
This is an ad by BetterHelp.
Cold plunges, better sleep, a gym buddy. How do you know what has the biggest impact for an active body and mind? With BetterHelp, you can talk with real, qualified therapists, not AI. With a 4.9-star rating, BetterHelp understands mental wellness shouldn't be tougher than a workout. Their therapists can figure out what's best for you. And yeah, it might involve a cold plunge. Visit BetterHelp.com, code TIMEOUT for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com, code TIMEOUT.
Mom, when are you going to stop squeezing that tray of pigs in a blanket, crock-pot queso, and vat of chili onto that tiny countertop?
Abby, we just turned our kitchen and dining room into a massive 15-person island.
Wait, doesn't Buckley, the Chicago fan, make our friend group 16?
Here at PCI, we've been remodeling residential and commercial spaces for over 21 years. From bigger countertops to open layouts, we build spaces ready for every season's biggest game.
Get your home game day ready with PCI.
Visit professionalconstructioninc.com.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
How are you feeling, big guy, about the MRI?
It's starting to hurt now. I think I have mental issues. I really do.
Well,
gonna have to clip that
yeah,
for me?
that's just, I mean,
hold on to it?
I know, I don't think there's anything wrong. It's just, I think it's something in my brain's telling me
something is wrong, buddy.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Something exciting is happening at St. Kate, the Arts Hotel. On the second floor, you will find the Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, Milwaukee's destination for bold flavors, fresh sushi, seasonal entrees, and cocktails crafted with care. Start your day with a breakfast. Whoa. That fuels you. Sounded like, yeah, I know. It sounded like what it sounded like. Stop in for dinner that sparks conversation or linger late into the evening. You know what? I'm just going to move on. Visit our friends over at St. Kate, the Arts Hotel, and see their new Studio Kitchen and Cocktails. Breakfast? Hey, good for you. Sorry, trying to bring a little levity here this morning as the Packers lose to the Browns yesterday, 13-10. Woof, was it bad. I got a little bit of a Wisconsin football hangover this morning, and I know I am not alone. Lots of reaction rolling in. We will continue getting to that as the show rolls on, but I want to get to our friend Homer, who had some reaction yesterday during the post-game show. Obviously, Homer, frustrated with the fact that the Packers went into that game undefeated, thought that they would leave the game undefeated, thought that the Packers were a far superior team to the Browns, and yet here we are, any given Sunday and whatnot. Let's hear from Homer yesterday on the post-game show about the quarterback Jordan Love.
You cannot trust Jordan Love. I don't care if they're paying him $100 million. I don't care how good you think he is, but you cannot trust him. That is done and over. You must recognize one of his weaknesses, and there are other strengths, is his ability to do incredibly stupid things, and you cannot give him the opportunity, because the next time it happens when you do, it's going to cost you something way bigger than this.
So let's talk about it here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. It's sponsored by BetterHelp. Mental health is health. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout for 10% off your first month of therapy. That's BetterHelp, H-E-L-P. Gabe, do you agree with Homer that you cannot trust Jordan Love?
Absolutely not. I am not there yet with Jordan. Now, some of the things Homer said is true. Now, you can't defend the interception he threw yesterday. It's a pretty dumb interception. He put the ball in harm's way. I'm not even more going back to the Lions game in week 1. It was the play before the potential pick six that was called back because of a penalty. That was just, to me, a great play made by the defender. But the play before, we just kind of lobbed it out into the flat, and Anzalone should have picked it off for the Lions, and he just dropped it. Like, those are the decisions. You're going to throw interceptions. Guys are going to make great plays on the ball when it's in the air. That happens throughout the course of a 17-game season. But yesterday was a dumb interception, and he has had the propensity to put the ball into harm's way. But if you don't trust Jordan Love, if you can't trust your quarterback, then it's over. Packers can't win a Super Bowl unless Matt LaFleur, this coaching staff, this team trusts Jordan Love. And I think they still do. But if you don't trust your quarterback, you can't win a Super Bowl. I can't think of any team that did not trust their quarterback and somehow won a Super Bowl in the modern era. Maybe it happened back in the 70s and the 80s and maybe a little bit into the 60s, and maybe it happened then. I have no idea. But in the modern era of football, if you don't trust your quarterback, you can't win the Super Bowl. There's only so much things you can do, because even when Peyton Manning, who was bad in his last year when they won the Super Bowl in Super Bowl 50 for the Denver Broncos, like, Peyton was smart enough to know his limitations, and they trusted him to know how to handle his limitations at that point in his career, and they trusted Peyton Manning. If you can't trust Jordan Love, then it's over. Then it's done.
All right, far be it for me to try to bring some nuance into here. I don't think that it is as extreme as you can't trust Jordan Love. I don't think there are any perfect quarterbacks out there, right? You even think about Tom Brady when he was winning all of those titles. What was the criticism of Tom Brady? Well, he's a statue out there. He's not very mobile. He's not going to get you the yards with his feet and all that type of stuff. Obviously, they went on to have an incredible stretch there with the Patriots. Yeah, I don't want to talk about him with the Raiders right now. That's a whole other topic for a whole other day. But my point is this. When you're building a prototypical quarterback, yes, you'd like to have a little of this and a little of this and a little of this, and then you put the recipe together. Jordan is always going to have a little bit of that choke gene. I'm sorry. He just does. And I think that you see it on some of these plays. You saw it yesterday with the interception to Delpit. You saw it in the NFC wildcard game against the Eagles where he threw 3 interceptions in that game. That obviously affected their ability to move on. You saw it in the divisional game against the 49ers in 2024. That was a Greenlaw interception. Heck, you could even make the argument that earlier this year, guys, he threw that pick 6. It was a near pick 6 because there was a penalty that brought it back. But in the game against the Lions, there are moments when Jordan either is trying to do too much or is missing something defensively, which I think is what it was yesterday. I don't think he saw Delpit at all. When we heard the explanations about it, they were in man and then they peeled off to zone and you saw the guy sort of fill that window. We heard it. We got it. But I do think that that's part of Jordan Love's makeup. And I would very much like, Gabe, if I'm being honest, as a person who pulls for the Packers, for him to get that out of his system. But at this point in his career, Gabe, I just think you have to live with it. I don't think that it is something, I think that when push comes to shove and the pressure ratchets up, Jordan is one of those guys who is going to make boneheaded plays.
But it's not like the interception ended the game. He still got them into field goal range. He bounced back from it. That's why I cannot defend the interception. Can't do it because it was a bad play. There's no way to defend it. Again, they explained it. Jordan said, I got to see him somehow. It was a bad play. Bad play at an incredibly bad time. But then he still bounced back from that and got them into field goal range. So he was able to put it behind him and still put them in. And again, then the special teams and Jordan Morgan got pushed back too far and ended up allowing a blocked field goal. So it ended up being, again, he was able to bounce back and potentially leave that play behind him. I think he made that dumb play. I still have faith that he's going to be able to learn and grow and still be able to overcome that. You make bad decisions. Again, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes, there are times where they make really bad decisions. You go, what? Where the hell did that come from? And that's what that was yesterday with Jordan. But then he got him in position to still potentially win the game. And the special teams let him down. And this would be a completely different conversation had that field goal not been blocked and the Packers win 13-10 instead of them losing 13-10.
I guess, again, I want to make sure that we're clear that we're on the same page here. I am not saying we're at the point where you shouldn't trust Jordan Love. I just believe that this is a flaw in his makeup, that this is sort of something that he just sort of deals with, which is the boneheaded plays every now and again. And again, I appreciate to your point that he was able to recover from it. But I also think that, I have never gotten the sense from Jordan Love. And look, guys, I'm here to listen. If you think I'm wrong on this, please tell me. I have never gotten the sense from Jordan Love that he can throw the team on his back, that he can see what's happening, whether it's with the special teams, that he can see what's happening with the defense. Hell, he can recognize that his offensive line isn't even close to 100%, and he can make the necessary adjustments to work around it, to make the team better in spite of those deficiencies. Have y'all seen that yet from Jordan Love? Because that's what I think people are pointing to when they talk about him being an 8-12 ranked quarterback in the league. Have you ever seen a game where you're like, Jordan put the team on his back today, and that is why they won, despite all of the things going wrong, despite all of the chaos surrounding him, he was the reason that they won that game?
I mean, I would say that happened quite a bit in 2023. You know, I think of that game that they had against Kansas City. Heck, the game they had the week before against Detroit.
But we haven't seen it since, right? We keep pointing to that 2023 stretch, and we keep saying, oh, my goodness, when is he going to reclaim that? When are we going to see that again? I think that's the frustration, is that people are going, we still haven't seen that. And yesterday, again, would have been a great example, and I know you're going to keep pointing to, drove him into field goal range, gave him a chance to win the game. But I still think that there are moments where I want to see the quarterback of the team put the team on its back and be the reason they won. And that wasn't the case yesterday.
Yeah, that wasn't the case yesterday. He's going to play more times and more opportunities to show that. Look, we can't have it both ways and be like, well, Jordan was injured last year, but then be like, oh, how come he didn't show it last year? All right? You can't have it both ways. He showed it in flashes and in spurts last year, but because of his injury, the Packers fundamentally changed who they were and became this run-oriented football team because he was injured last year and decided that they wanted to continue to try to do that this season. Now, it hasn't gone as well. Again, going back to a lot of the offensive line deficiencies and not being able to open up anything for Josh Jacobs through the first 3 weeks of the season. So I think he's going to have plenty of opportunities to step up and try to make those plays. I think that's where it comes down to having, again, instead of a mishmash of wide receivers, like, oh, yeah, we can just spread it around. It's nice to have a different playmaker, somebody who can step up and help Jordan make those plays. I think that can make a big difference for the Packers as well. I can't defend the interception. It was a bad play at a bad time.
But you still trust him.
I still trust him. I still think he's going to have a tremendous season. And I think that he is somebody that the Packers are 100% counting on. Because again, if they can't run block for Josh Jacobs, they're going to have to make the pivot the way that they pivoted last year, and they're going to have to trust Jordan even more, getting the ball into the hands of somebody like Matthew Golden, into the hands of somebody like Tucker Kraft.
Steve the Homer True said yesterday on the postgame show, you cannot trust Jordan Love. Do you agree? Let's go out to the phones. Jack in Waterford waiting patiently. Good morning, Jack. Do you trust Jordan Love?
Yeah, no. You stole my thunder, Jen, when you brought up a bunch of points I was going to bring up about things that he's made. He has no situational awareness. Like the time in the game and where you're located on the field, you can't throw that ball. I mean, if this was third quarter and it was on the 45-yard line, it's a little less risky. But, I mean, it looked like they were trying to lose that football game. Did it not? Or is it just me? Like, what can we do right here to get them? Oh, we got to get them a touchdown. Jordan, you throw a terrible pass. Inside the 30-yard line at the wrong. There was 3 brown jerseys there. I don't understand how he thought that was an exceptional or acceptable risk, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, again, he just didn't see Delpit, who passed off. He was trying to hit the second window. I think he saw him then kind of late and then just kind of, because there was nothing on that throw. So I think he just kind of got to the point where he was releasing it. It's like, oh, no. And then it kind of happens in slow motion. Again, it's a bad play, but at the same time, when a team's playing man-to-man and it's a quick toss, it's going to be a tight window. Like wherever you're trying to fit that ball into, and Jordan said the footwork was 1-2, try to get the ball out. That's what the play call is. There's going to be a tight window there. And he just didn't see Delpit there, who had passed off and was kind of a rover on that play. So it's inexcusable. I can't defend it. I don't think anybody can defend it, but that doesn't color my opinion on Jordan Love. If you watch any game, a lot of guys are going to have some inexplicable plays as the season wears along at probably some inopportune times.
Go back out to the phone lines. Brandon in Tulsa waiting patiently on the line this morning on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Homer says you cannot trust Jordan Love. Do you agree, Brandon in Tulsa?
I don't agree fully that you can't trust Jordan. I've seen enough bad quarterback play in the league to know he's not going to be bad 17 weeks out of the year. But here's where I don't trust him or LaFleur quite as much. I mean, you guys remember how angry Aaron Rodgers would get when guys would make mental errors. It was always a story every year. Aaron is ripping this guy in practice, or Aaron is ripping these guys in the game, and he would just give them the most, icy looks, and Josh is well documented on the way he treated guys. But one thing you couldn't define those teams as was inherently sloppy year in and year out. I think the reason why we're seeing so many penalties and such a sloppy team is because Jordan either doesn't know how or isn't interested in holding guys to a certain standard. I don't trust him much as a leader. Like the QB play is one thing. I don't think Jordan is able to hold the team accountable the way Aaron was, and I don't think LaFleur does either. There's no other reason why this team is this sloppy post Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, other than the QB, the leader of the team, can't or won't hold guys accountable. So that's where I don't trust Jordan as far as what he's doing at the QB position. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know.
Appreciate the reaction this morning, Brandon. Let's hear from Matt LaFleur yesterday on the interception, because I think that is going to be a big buzz moment in the game. Obviously, the Packers are in position to win the game. Jordan throws the INT. Here's Matt LaFleur talking about that play.
Yeah, so they were playing man coverage, and the guy, Delpit, did a hell of a job. He passed off Tuck to the inside backer, and he fell off in the window. So, that's a bad play call. We shouldn't have called that play. That's on me.
What's the alternate, though, there, Gabe? What's the alternate play?
Look, that's just what Matt LaFleur does after losses. Like, I can't take him actually just saying, because that's what he does. He just takes all the blame, tries to take the blame off the players. That is Matt LaFleur 101. He's done this a lot of times after the Packers have lost games. So I can't take that seriously. I think he's just trying to protect his quarterback there.
I think it was a bad play call.
Where would you like to have seen the ball go?
Run it. You have a defense.
3rd and 3, right?
Yep, you have a defense. Your defense is the reason you guys are going to, if you do make it to a Super Bowl, trust your defense. Run it. You don't get it, punt it. They're not going to go down the field and score on you.
Yeah, unless you give them good field position with an interception
Correct.
that they return.
I agree, but I don't know if Matt LaFleur actually feels that way, Josh. What I'm saying is I think he's just protecting his quarterback in that moment. I don't know if Matt actually thinks that was a bad play call.
I think
because that's what he says every time.
Right.
Every time somebody does something bad, he says it's on him.
I agree.
So,
he does say that, but also it was a bad play call. We could say that definitively. No reason to put the ball at risk there.
800-990-3776. Reaction rolling in fast and furious.
I think
almost
you're playing the
too
result
difficult.
There. Like if Josh Jacobs fumbles the football, I should have thrown it. Why didn't you trust your quarterback in that situation?
Why do I feel like that line from Happy Gilmore? He did have a beard. Josh Jacobs did fumble the football. I mean, I know that it was reviewed.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you give it to him and then he fumbles in that situation, then I think you're playing the result a little bit. Like,
or I'm playing what makes a lot of sense based on the context of the said game.
If Delpit doesn't pass him off and they get the first down, it's not a conversation.
And if Jordan Love drops the ball, like you put the ball at risk when you have a defense that you should trust. That is inevitable. That is what happened.
I guess I don't know if it's a bad play call or not. I don't dive into Matt LaFleur is a terrible play call. I have no idea. I've never called plays in the NFL. I don't buy into I know what's right and what's wrong in terms of play calling.
Your point is more you can't trust Matt LaFleur's reaction to the play because he always is going to say that's on me as opposed to Jordan made a boneheaded play or something of the like.
Yeah, and it just comes down to me of, again, he trusted Jordan in that situation. I continue to trust Jordan in those situations.
Alan weighing in saying, I agree with Homer on Jordan Love. It's to the point that I cringe when he drops back. The coach is in his 7th year and still has to say that's on me. He's literally had 6 years of preparing teams.
I want to go back to the point the caller was making about Aaron Rodgers and his leadership style. I don't think you can ask Jordan to be somebody he's not. Jordan is very obviously not that type of leader. And you don't have to be that type of leader to be successful to win Super Bowls. I look at Jalen Hurts. Dude was emotionless as the team blocked a kick to win the game, and then Jordan Davis is rumbling back to score a touchdown in the Eagles-Rams game yesterday. I don't look at Jalen Hurts as this guy who gets all fiery and tries to hold people accountable. But then that does come down to the coaching staff. And again, they have to hold this team accountable. Maybe that's Micah Parsons, who was holding himself accountable for the penalties that he made yesterday. That's the downside of having all these young players who are coming up together. Maybe you don't have that leader who's feeling comfortable to step up and try to do that within the locker room. And it puts more on the coaching staff, and they haven't answered it. I don't put the leadership thing on Jordan. He's a different leader than Jordan Love. Or excuse me, he's a different leader than Aaron Rodgers was. That doesn't mean he's bad or ineffective. It just means things have to be done differently.
If somebody came in here with similar experience to us and started telling us how to do everything and barking at us and telling us we were boneheads, it just doesn't carry the same weight as it does with Aaron Rodgers.
And Aaron
earned the right to do that as much as many of us didn't like it. He was nearly perfect at his job.
Maybe I'm misremembering early Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't think he did that when he was a younger player and he had Greg Jennings and Donald Driver and he had these other young guys around him. I think that became part of Aaron as he recognized, I'm an older guy. We've got some younger guys around us and somebody needs to hold these guys accountable.
Love will always be complimentary and never the main course. That from Ryan from McGuanago. He says Rodgers and Favre were the main course. 800-990-3776. Lots of reaction rolling in this morning. Want to get to as much of it as we can. We have folks who are on the line. If you're on the line, stay on the line. We have to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, but we want to hear from all of you. Homer says you cannot trust Jordan Love. Do you agree? We'll continue that conversation right after this.
With a dedicated Milwaukee team, Fifth Third Bank knows what success looks like. For 15 years, we've been serving businesses, organizations, and individuals in the area with a long-standing commitment to the healthcare and not-for-profit sectors. Whether it's expansion to commercial payments, Fifth Third offers a full suite of financial services and solutions to navigate your organization's complex needs. Experience the difference with Fifth Third Bank National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got delays coming in from before Highway 100 all the way to about Hawley Road. On the westbound side, we got backups out of the Marquette past Mitchell Boulevard. Southbound on 41, not too bad. The northbound side, though, a little bit different. We got delays from Mayfair Road up towards almost to Capitol Drive. Southbound on 43 is a little bit tight now, coming in from Good Hope Road in pockets all the way down past Silver Spring. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, partly cloudy, warm and humid. Chance for afternoon showers or storms. A high of 78. Tonight, chance of showers and storms, mostly cloudy, a low of 62. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Lazaga for Comfort Awnings. I reclaim my outdoor space by having Comfort Awnings install a motorized retractable awning so I can enjoy the sun and get relief when I need it. Sensors are also available that detect strong winds and rain to extend or retract your awning. They even protect against UV radiation so you can safely enjoy the outdoors. Family owned and located in Burlington, Comfort Awnings expertly installs custom awnings that fit your home and style. Right now, you can receive $250 off all awnings and screens. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com.
I've been to my fair share of green and gold games, and the best way to get there is with AccuTrans Group. At Good Karma Brands and ESPN Milwaukee, we use AccuTrans Group to get our partners to and from Green Bay, and it's always first class. From stadiums to concerts and tailgates, your game day fun starts the moment you step on board. Sit back, relax, and let their professional chauffeurs handle the traffic while you enjoy the ride. AccuTrans Group is Milwaukee's premier ground transportation, available 24/7 with sedans, SUVs, limos, vans, and buses. Book today at AccuTransGroup.com.
Imagine your home totally organized. At Closets by Design, we specialize in providing affordable, custom-built storage solutions with built-ins and beyond, from garages to new home offices. Our experienced designers work within your budget to design a solution fit perfectly to your needs. Get 40% off plus an additional 15% with 18-month financing. Visit closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to get started. Let's get organized together.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 5 and 20%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. Visit amfam.com to learn more. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's Jen Latta from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. For me and my family, finding the perfect home is a journey, but we don't walk it alone. With the We Sell Group, Rob and Nick aren't just real estate agents, they're part of our family's team. They bring us options, perspective, and peace of mind. While they navigate the market, I can stay focused on all that life has in store. Because at the We Sell Group, it's not just about the home, it's about the people and the path it takes to get there. The We Sell Group, more than agents, part of your journey. Get started with Rob and Nick at wesell.kw.com.
Crispy chicken tenders are now at Cousins Subs. Enjoy them with your favorite dipping sauce, or try them in one of our 2 new subs, Classic Crispy Chicken or Bold Buffalo Ranch Crispy Chicken. Both served on our fresh baked bread, made with quality you can taste. But hurry, these crispy favorites are only here for a limited time. Order in store, online, or on the app today. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Jen, has college football gotten a little sleazy? Where you can recruit a little? No, I'm saying from the standpoint, it used to be. That was good.
On 94.5 ESPN.
We love fall in Wisconsin around here. I mean, we would prefer wins on a fall Saturday and Sunday, but, maybe that's asking a lot right now. Cool nights, game days, apple orchards, pumpkin patches, and it is also one of the best times to sell your home. Fewer homes are on the market in the fall. Buyers are motivated, and that gives you the advantage. Instead of waiting for the spring rush, close on your home before the first snowfall. The We Sell Group knows how to put you in the driver's seat. They've helped countless Wisconsin families move forward, and they are ready to do the same for you. Get your fall home sale started with Rob and Nick today at wesell.kw.com. Recapping the Packers' loss yesterday to the Browns. And listen, I want to be very clear on this because I do feel like sometimes people pop in and they pop out and they're hearing and they're not hearing and they're distracted and whatnot. I'm not panicking about the Green Bay Packers. I'm not sitting here saying that because they lost to the Browns, the sky is falling, the season is over. You know, I'm not despondent like that. And I hope that most people out there aren't. Are there things to clean up? Yes. Sometimes, and Chewy says this all the time, I don't even want to play the drop. Sometimes you need a wake-up call. Sometimes you got to go into a game and you got to realize 14 penalties, offensive line play, crapola. You know, you need something to remind you that maybe you're not as good as you thought you were, because the Packers and most Packers fans thought they were pretty dang good headed into this game against the Browns. So I'm not panicking. Teams that go on to win the Super Bowl lose games. I don't think I'm, breaking any news here to people who follow the sport.
And I know we bring it up all the time, and it was the year that the Packers lost the Super Bowl in 1997. But they had pretty inexplicable loss to the Indianapolis Colts that year. Really bad one. And it was actually the opposite, where the defense just completely, crapped the bed. The offense did what they were supposed to. You score 30 whatever points they scored that day. You're supposed to win NFL games. Instead, the defense gave up like 40 points in that game, and the Packers ended up losing. So it does inexplicably happen from time to time. It's not... Last year, the Falcons weren't a very good team last year, especially with Kirk Cousins. The Eagles lost to the Falcons in week 2 last year. So these things happen. It's about how you respond and bounce back. I'm not panicked about the offense yet. But if they look like this, or they don't put up a decent amount of yards and points against a pretty crappy Cowboys defense that's made everybody look good, then I think we've got more issues and reason to panic about this offense. But they haven't been sharp through 3 weeks. Even putting up 27 points in week 1 and week 2, we walked away from those games going, we probably lost, 3, 7, 10 points out there where they had opportunities, weren't able to cash in. So the offense does need to clean it up. But I think we've seen enough through 3 games to know that the offense can be good enough with how good this defense is, because the defense was still spectacular yesterday.
So we are in the reserving judgment portion of the program, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you following along at home, let's go back out to the phone line. Lots of folks want to be heard this morning, understandably, after a 13-10 loss to the Browns. Let's see. Wow, patience is a virtue, and these guys have been patient. Let's go out to Doug in Kenosha. Doug, you're up first here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Homer says you cannot trust Jordan Love. Do you agree?
Totally disagree. Jordan Love is fine. He's not like Rodgers or Favre. You remember Favre's days. He used to have 4 or 5 interceptions a game. He'd bring us back, win games and all that. Everybody's too hard on Jordan Love. He's a good quarterback. Just let the guy play. That's the way LaFleur does it. He's just trying to get him through the games and let the defense win. I don't know where the running game went. That's my problem.
Offensive line, man. Offensive line, just not getting it done. They're not... I think Jason said it yesterday. I think it was Jason, or maybe it was Balaga. I can't remember, on Green Bay game day before the game yesterday, where it just has felt like, and this was even before the game yesterday, just about every yard of Josh Jacobs has been after contact this year. That's the way it just kind of felt. So the offensive line has not done a good enough job of opening it up. And if they are facing stacked boxes, kind of like they were yesterday, like we know they have been through the first 3 weeks, then it is up to the offensive line to protect for a little bit longer so they could take shots down the field. They just were unable, for whatever reason, to do that yesterday for Jordan.
Adam in the 920 says, it's 1 game, 1 loss, but if next week is the same, then Homer may be right about Jordan. For now, everyone gets a mulligan. Let's go back out to the phone line. Jason and Tosa, you're on with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Do you trust Jordan Love?
At this point, I trust Jordan Love more than I trust Matt LaFleur in these types of games. There's many ways to win games in the NFL. I remember the Patriots winning a Super Bowl 13-3 over the Rams a year after they lost 41-33 to the Eagles. I think Matt LaFleur is an above-average coach overall, and he can lead the Packers to a lot of 41-33 type wins. But I don't think he's all that good in games that feature opponents with strong, aggressive defenses and competent special teams. Look at last year's playoff loss. The Eagles went on to win the Super Bowl. The defense played really well, but the offense again scored 10 points. And on the opening kickoff, the special teams fumbled, and Philly was up 7-0 immediately. In 2021, the playoffs against Jimmy Garoppolo, who looked like Joe Flacco yesterday, the defense, again, played really well. In fact, they only gave up 6 points. But there, the offense again scored just 10 points, and the special teams had a field goal block and a punt block for a TD, which brings me to yesterday's game. It was also 13-10. The defense played really, really well. The offense couldn't generate much, 10 points, and the special teams crapped the bed again. We could go back to 96 or 2010 and talk about how every team loses a game. But this is the Packers under Matt LaFleur losing games in the same way. I think if Packer fans are being honest with themselves, what they really saw yesterday was like, this is how it's going to bite us in the playoffs.
Appreciate the call. Lots of reaction rolling in. Let's try to get to a couple more here. Ron in Sheboygan. Well, Ron in Sheboygan is on one, huh? Good morning, Ron. What do you got for us?
I'm going to give you guys the bottom line up front. Best thing that could have happened to this team was losing yesterday. They rolled out their cleats yesterday. You could see it in the first half. Pre-snap penalties. If you watch the film, you'll see that the defense was nowhere near as fast in the first half as it was in the first two games. You had a player that talked about, we're going to win all 17 games. They were reading their press clippings. They were full of themselves, and they got humbled. You can't walk into any NFL stadium and play the way you played yesterday and not expect to get beat. And you can speak it from the podium. You can scream it in practice. If you don't bring your best, the teams are going to beat you. If you don't play up to the NFL standard of play, these teams are going to humble you. But until it actually happens, you don't believe it. And being the youngest team in the NFL, again, I think they learned an extremely valuable lesson yesterday that will carry out through the season. They rolled out their cleats yesterday. They did things that they don't normally do. They were full of themselves. They were reading their press clippings, and they got humbled.
Good stuff from Ron this morning. Let's go out to Jason before we take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Jason and Minnie, you're on with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Do you trust Jordan Love?
Jordan, it's like you said, he's got the choke gene, right? It's just baked into his nature. He is going to have 2, 3, 4, 5 plays per game, and it could just be a little dump off pass to Jacobs where he misses him by a mile and they're 10 feet from each other. He's going to have those boneheaded plays. And it's like hope and luck are not a strategy, but that's what it's going to take for us to get through playoff games where we don't pay the ultimate price for those. Anzalone dropped it against the Vikings or the Lions in week 1, and then a penalty overturned the next pass, which is a terrible pick six. Like, he's going to have it.
The guy made a diving play. All right, I'll push back on that one.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Guys make
Gabe,
plays.
They
get played to. They get paid to.
I get it. I respect your football acumen. I learn a lot from listening to you, and I'm like a hyperbolic high and low guy. And, I can ride high with you when you're high, but you do good at not getting us low. I absolutely disagree with you that is, and I agree with Josh, it is not playing the result there. Like, it is about percentages. You have to have a 30,000-foot view of what's happening in this game. You are a defensive-led team. Your defense, you run the ball because you have a less percentage chance of having something disastrous happen in that game. What are we doing? And Jordan Love's brain short circuits. You've been watching it for years. Just hand the ball off and punt. Your defense is not going to let them go down the field and score. I do not trust Matt LaFleur. He's a good coach, fastest coach to 50 wins, yada, yada, yada. But in the biggest spots, like he was tight for this game. Zach Tom shouldn't have gone out, but Matt LaFleur is just teams take on the identity of their coaches. And that team played yesterday like Matt LaFleur's psychology, like the deep structure and scaffolding of him as a human being, as a head coach. That's what that team played like yesterday, I feel like. I mean, he's not out there on the field, pre-snap penalty, but there's just something about him, skittish and scared. And it just baffles me, and I don't trust him in the biggest spots. Do I think we should fire him? No, we're stuck with him. We ride or die now. But
Thanks for the call. We appreciate it. Good stuff from our callers this morning. People are feel very strongly. And again, it's one loss. I don't think it is an indictment on the entire season. But I do think, and we're going to continue talking about this, Gabe, that we need to be giving more attention to the offensive line. Because the offensive line is a big reason why some of these things happen. The offensive line struggles speeds up Jordan Love's clock, right? And so you start talking about him having to make plays faster than he wants to and trying to get the ball to his guys downfield. I get it. There's a lot of stuff to nail down on here. I do think that the goal, and I do agree with the caller who says sometimes you need a wake-up call. And maybe this Browns loss is the wake-up call that this offense and this team needed in order to start gathering some momentum to make a deep run. We still have a lot of people waiting on the phone lines. I want to get to those calls. We have to take a break. If you're on the line, stay on the line. We want to hear from you this morning as we continue asking you, do you trust Jordan Love as the quarterback of your franchise? Jen, Gabe, and Chewy rolls on after this.
Let me tell you about our friends at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. When a customer chooses Pella, one of the most important things to them is honoring that trust and commitment, because there are a lot of customers that have apprehensions about inviting somebody into their home. I get it. But when you invite Pella into your home, you're going to get to experience what Pella wants to do for you. I invited them to my home. We took a look at the windows. Yeah, probably good there. Let's focus on this front door. They walked me through all the customizable options, and we ended up with a beautiful new front door on our home. Their vision is to be the company that people want to do business with. If you order by the end of the month, 0% interest for up to 5 years. Visit PellaWI.com today. When you use Pella Windows and Doors Wisconsin, tell them that Gabe Neitzel sent you.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
This year, it just feels different.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Listen to WTMJ as the Brewers make their charge to the postseason. Brewers playoff coverage is presented by the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin and featured by Annex Wealth Management, Boucher Automotive, and Delta Dental. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
This summer, your wishes take center stage at WishFest at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Play your favorite games with your Potawatomi Rewards card all summer for over $1 million in prizes and earn entries into the WishFest prize drawings on Friday, September 26th. Your entries from July, August, and September all count. Plus, 5 lucky winners will have their ultimate wish granted. Wish big, win big. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
This is an ad by BetterHelp.
Cold plunges, better sleep, a gym buddy. How do you know what has the biggest impact for an active body and mind? With BetterHelp, you can talk with real, qualified therapists, not AI. With a 4.9-star rating, BetterHelp understands mental wellness shouldn't be tougher than a workout. Their therapists can figure out what's best for you. And yeah, it might involve a cold plunge. Visit BetterHelp.com, code TIMEOUT for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com, code TIMEOUT.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
My name is Georgios Tsetis. I'm the co-founder of Nutrafol. My hair started thinning in my early 20s. I tried everything and nothing was really working. So we created Nutrafol. Our hair growth supplements undergo clinical trials and have helped millions of men and women get visibly thicker and stronger hair in just 3 to 6 months.
Get growing at Nutrafol.com. That's Nutrafol.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is Joe Budden. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So I'm here to make sure you don't miss any of the daily fantasy action this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right.
Download the Prize Picks app today and use code PLAYNOW to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. That's code PLAYNOW to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
With a dedicated Milwaukee team, Fifth Third Bank knows what success looks like. For 15 years, we've been serving businesses, organizations, and individuals in the area with a long-standing commitment to the healthcare and not-for-profit sectors. Whether it's expansion to commercial payments, Fifth Third offers a full suite of financial services and solutions to navigate your organization's complex needs. Experience the difference with Fifth Third Bank. National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
How much will Angie let you grow a beard?
I would say for 3 months I have to keep a beard if I lose.
Okay, and Angie would allow you to have a beard for 3 months.
She doesn't run my life. Drop that.
Yeah, how do you?
On 94.5 ESPN.
When I need to get somewhere on time and in style, I use Accutrans Group. They're my go-to when I got to get to the airport during this busy travel season, and they are our preferred transportation for Green Bay game day. Here at Good Karma Brands, we rely on them for our partners because they know how to handle everything. From corporate travel and conventions to private events and tailgates, they learn your preferences, they're always on time, and they make booking simple. And I tell you guys this every year about this time. If you have a kiddo who's going to a dance, homecoming is coming up within the next few weeks, and you don't want to be driving them around from your house to dinner, from dinner to the dance, from the dance to home, call my friends at Accutrans. They'll handle it for you, and you can trust them. Their website is accutransgroup.com. That's accutransgroup.com. Reaction rolling in this morning as people talk about the Packers losing to the Browns. And again, it is not the end of the world. We do not think it is the end of the season. We are not sitting here saying they cannot win the Super Bowl. They cannot be a deep playoff team. What we are saying is we're starting to see cracks. There's a few things here that they have to get shored up. There's a few things here they have to address. Gabe is very hot about the offensive line play, and the way that affected the offense as a whole yesterday. Let's go out to the phone lines. Ricardo in Canada has been waiting patiently to talk this morning. Ricardo, you're on with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Morning, guys. Listen, this guy's not falling. However, there's one glaring trend that's starting to really tick me off with Matt LaFleur. I feel like sometimes he runs his team like it's a house league soccer team, and every player needs to have their turn on the field. Okay, I think it needs a little bit more meritocracy, and the better players need to play. The first drive, Golden was unguardable. He had like 2 catches for 20 yards, and then they didn't go back to him until the fourth quarter again. And then Josh Jacobs, who's your power back in the fourth quarter, you need 3 yards, but no, you're running Golden on reverses for some reason. But no, we're running Savion Williams, Malik Heath out there. Our tight ends disappear. Like, Matt LaFleur needs to realize your better players need to play and just feed them the ball until they can be stopped. All right? And the offensive line, the whole issue with the offensive line is that it's juggling chairs. Listen, Jordan Morgan is not good enough to be all 5 positions on the offensive line. Give him a position. You're not good enough to be the starting left tackle. You're the backup guards. You're going to focus on guards. Dalton, you're the backup right tackle. Like, everybody needs to have their position, cemented so they know when someone goes down, they're in, it's practice. You get cohesiveness this way. Because if not, it's going to be musical chairs all day. And it's been going on for 3-4 years like this. Whole rotating guards, rotating tackles. Like, who else does this? Nobody does that. Only we do. But it's only week 3. If we're going to have a game like this, it's good against the Browns, someone in the AFC who probably won't mean anything towards their standing at the end. Guys, we're going to be okay. We're going to go beat the Cowboys, and everything's going to be great. Happy days, people.
The one thing, the rotation thing, I don't know of anybody who's been a fan of that, whether it's been, rotating at left tackle like they did, with Sheed and Josh Nijman a handful of years ago. Obviously, they were doing that last year. Even a little bit this year at right guard, they were doing that with Jordan Morgan. But when it comes to offensive linemen, like, you do need somebody who is versatile. Every team needs somebody. And unfortunately for Jordan Morgan, he was bad at right tackle yesterday. I think he settled into the game a little bit better once he was moved to left guard. Still had, a false start penalty, but I think his blocking was a little bit better yesterday there. You need guys who are versatile because teams don't have 10 offensive linemen that they trust and go, oh, you're just the backup left tackle. You're just the backup left guard. There's typically 6 or 7 that you trust. So you end up needing somebody with versatility that can bounce around to those spots. And they did probably ask a little much out of Josh Morgan yesterday. We talked about that last week of, okay, who's going to be the starting right tackle? The Packers were, okay, if Zach Tom doesn't start, don't know what we're going to be doing out there. Tom goes down, Morgan ends up playing right tackle, and that was a disaster because it's not really a spot he spent a ton of time on because he was in battle for left tackle and right guard during training camp.
Well, and I love the point about you want to ride the hot hand, right? If you've got Golden, you want to use Golden. If you've got Josh Jacobs, you want to use Josh Jacobs. But guess who scored the first touchdown for Green Bay yesterday, guys? Not number 1 in your hearts from a tight end position. Not number 2 in your hearts from a tight end position. John Fitzpatrick had the 3-yard touchdown. So to the point about spreading the ball around, you can't talk out of both sides of your mouth on that, right?
I'm 100% there with him. We've seen this spread the ball. Oh, it's harder to defend when you're playing a really good defense and you don't have a stud that you rely upon and demands extra attention. That makes it harder because these defenses just go, oh, there's nobody we have to really care about. We're just going to play our stuff. We don't have to roll coverage over to this guy or that guy. That's where not having a stud pass catcher can hurt you when you're playing great defenses like this because they don't care. They're just going to run their stuff and not have any special attention and have any miscommunications because they're uncomfortable with somebody who's out there on the field.
But I don't think that John Fitzpatrick was the first option on that play. I think it was Fitzpatrick got open, right? Fitzpatrick got open. Jordan's looking for an open guy. Everybody else is covered, and he's standing there in the end zone. And so that's the idea about sometimes it's good to have that type of depth. Sometimes it's good to have other guys who can make plays as well.
I do think also we saw a very condensed wide receiver room. Matthew Golden played 71%, Dontavian Wicks 68%, and Romeo Doubs 89%. That's something we haven't seen, to have 3 guys that were so clearly up and above the rest. Now, it's a depth thing, surely, but we did see Bull Melton for a bit, a little Savion Williams.
Yeah, I mean, but those were both times that those guys were in, it was more gimmicky special plays, like a special package that they had put together to try to get more speed on the field.
71 is more than enough for a rookie.
Lots of reaction
it's the
rolling
most I think he's played all year.
Yes.
On the Carbless Talking text line. I really like this one. Short and sweet and to the point. What a kick in the shorts. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy rolls on after this.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got a few problems out there now. We've got an accident on 894 westbound at 76th Street with the center lane blocked. So there's that. Then, of course, there's another one in the backups. Westbound 894 at the ramp from Loomis. This one at least is off on the right shoulder. And one more northbound heading through the Mitchell interchange. The left lane's blocked with yet another crash. So you do want to be extra careful out there. Traffic is brought to you by Dick & Schroff Heating and Cooling, now hiring HVAC installers and service technicians. Join a winning positive team culture that sets them apart. Apply today at dickandschroff.com. And checking the TMJ 4-Storm Team forecast today, partly cloudy skies, warm and humid. Chance for afternoon showers and storms, a high of 78. Tonight, chance for showers and storms, mostly cloudy with a low of 62. Weather's brought to you by Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more. Easy and affordable apparel personalization with no minimums and fast turnaround. For all your printing needs, bigfrog.com/Mequon. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Kevin Moret here from Mentality. Life's a relentless competition, and you might be losing without even knowing it. With testosterone levels plummeting 25% in just 2 decades, you're likely operating at a fraction of your potential. Your kids sense it when you're too exhausted for playtime. Your wife notices when that spark fades. Here's the harsh truth. Without addressing low T, nothing works. Diets fail, workouts fall flat, but there's hope. Mentality's FDA-approved treatment restores testosterone by an average of 30%. Don't let low T rob you of life's precious moments. Start at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Gabe Neitzel here. Catch Jen, Gabe, and Chewy mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Well, that was extremely disappointing.
35-yard try for Andre Schmidt, and the field goal for the former Syracuse Orange is good.
It's tough. It's tough to deal with, but you better learn from each and every opportunity.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Four-man rush. Love throws. Intercepted. Picked off. Grant Delpit down the sideline. Inside the 10 and down inside the 5.
That's a bad play call. We shouldn't have called that play. That's on me.
Flacco turns. Gives it to the rookie. Judkins into the end zone. It's a Cleveland touchdown. On the right hash. Daniel Whelan the hold. The kick is blocked. It is blocked. The Browns get the swat. Good snap. Good hold. The kick is on the way. The kick is good. The kick is good. And Andre Schmidt from 55 to give the Browns a 13-10 win.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like
It's funny because I actually had the thought after the Badgers lost on Saturday, well, Packers are going to win tomorrow, so weekend will be a win. Well, the Brewers are going to do well this weekend. I mean, relatively speaking, that also didn't happen. Brewers obviously clinched the division, and we'll talk about that a little bit as the show goes on. But man, it was a tough weekend for Wisconsin sports fans. Packers snatching defeat from the jaws of victory with 4 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. They were up 10-0, go on to lose 13-10 to the Cleveland Browns. And the video highlights are sitting here playing on my laptop in front of me this morning. What am I, just a glutton for punishment? Just rolling through in front of me. They've been talking about it this morning.
Were they showing like 5 plays? That was an ugly game. What highlights exist?
Well, maybe the word highlights is inaccurate, but there are definitely clips. How about that?
Okay.
Clips from the game yesterday that just keep playing on a loop here on my laptop in front of me. Dan Orlovsky was on Get Up just a few moments ago. They were talking about the Packers game. In fact, it said, is Jordan Love the weak link? We are not going to go that far this morning, but we are asking you if you trust Jordan Love. After Homer said yesterday that you cannot. Jordan Love throwing a late interception. It was not the straw that broke the camel's back, but it certainly did contribute to the loss. And he was talking about how you cannot throw that interception. I mean, and Dan Orlovsky, Gabe, has been a Packer backer, right? We often talk about how he has a friendship with Matt LaFleur. There has been talk of him at times joining the staff, potentially, maybe even to coach up the quarterback, since that's the position that Dan played. But he also did point to the offensive line, and that is where you want to direct most of your ire this morning. That is mostly responsible for the loss. So when you look at this offensive line and the injuries that they are currently dealing with, obviously Zach Tom has the oblique. Banks had an ankle, but then you said it's something else as well.
Groin. He left the game with a groin injury.
Groin injury. How do you see the line, best case scenario, stacking up against the Cowboys this week?
I'm assuming it's what they finish the game with. If you're unable to finish the game with a groin injury, I can't imagine you're suddenly going to be good to go in a week. If you're Aaron Banks, who now has had 3 separate injuries since he's been in Green Bay. He was dealing with a back injury during training camp. Then he has the ankle that keeps him out, and now he's got the groin. So I just can't count on him right now, and I think it's the way they finish the game. And you just need Anthony Belton and Jordan Morgan to play better. Those are the two newest guys. Those are your 2 backups that have to play better. Sean Ryan's been fine. Sheed, again, he's not going to be a top 10 tackle, top 5 tackle. He's going to be good enough to get the job done, but that also means there's going to be some times where he gets beat. Elton has to be better than he was yesterday. And then those 2 guys that you're relying upon in the rookie and Belton and Morgan as your backups, they got to be better. They have to be better.
What's your concern level for Zach Tom going forward?
Going forward,
no, you told me this morning. You said you think there's a chance that he.
Oh, I got to imagine he goes on IR. I mean, if you go out there with an oblique injury, and I assume he made it worse. I'm assuming he made it worse.
Did I dream this, or did Spoon say he completely tore it?
I don't know.
I thought I remember seeing that. I could be giving. I'll have to look into it. But,
fever dream.
But much like the Xavier Worthy thing, they're like, well, how much worse can you make it when you completely tear it?
Yeah.
And you probably if there was any healing, it was short term.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is why, So I got to imagine he goes on IR at this point. At this point, they're going to say, yeah, he's going to have to be out for a while or whatever. I have no idea. Again, with obliques, I usually think of baseball players. And with baseball players, I feel like obliques, depending upon the severity, it's like a month to a month and a half.
Not sure if you got to see the video, but of course, during the game, they showed Zach Tom on the sideline. He was clearly emotional, a little bit distraught, obviously, after having come out of the game so early. I do want to hear from Matt LaFleur, who had this reaction to say, Joshy, to having Zach Tom go out there yesterday. Obviously, not 100%.
Obviously, yeah. I would say if a guy plays one play, and so we got to have some discussions about, we can't allow that to happen. It's disappointing when he plays one play. Banks, I don't think that was the case. It was a different injury, so it is what it is. That happens.
2 more, please.
Now, this is very Monday morning quarterback, Gabe. But is this where the team is supposed to step in and protect a player from himself? Obviously, Zach Tom wants to be out there. Obviously, we have talked about he's a warrior for this squad. He does whatever they ask. And yet, he was clearly not healthy enough to be able to contribute in yesterday's game.
I don't know if it was a pain tolerance thing or whatever. Maybe we'll get more information as it develops this week. But Zach Tom had told Jason in a conversation that he had in a story that Jason did over at Jason Wilde at channel3000.com, where Tom had a bad Zach Tom and a good Zach Tom on his shoulder, doing the whole, oh, yeah, you should be able to play with this. Shouldn't you be kind of being a little bit more careful with this? So he was even debating if he should try to go. Obviously, he decided he should go. So I don't know what went into this decision. If it's completely torn and it was a pain tolerance thing and they thought that he could play, I guess I understand that more. But now he can't handle that. Again, it's a torn oblique. I'm not trying to question Zach Tom's toughness by any stretch of the imagination, but trying to play through that, I would admire it, but also, okay, now you got to go get that thing fixed, whether it's surgery, whether it's rest, whatever is required, and I'm guessing that's going to keep him out. Hopefully not all season. Again, I don't know with obliques what that's going to cost an offensive lineman, because, again, I think of more, baseball players when I think of the oblique injury, but I can't imagine he is going to be back anytime soon after he plays one play and then goes down.
So does this surprise you at all, Joshy, this attitude of throwing a guy out there? It feels like the Packers have in the past been pretty conservative when it comes to injuries. Is this I can't help but wonder if this whole go for broke, this whole the window is open, this whole, Super Bowl or bust mindset is maybe changing their mentality and their approach to situations like this.
Yeah, I really only have 2 cases to work off of here, but with Jaden Reed playing with the broken Jones bone or whatever, the Jones fracture in his foot, and now Zach Tom going out there clearly not even close to being able to play. It seems like the medical staff, which we have called very, very cautious in the past, has now sort of opened the doors and let guys make decisions on their own future. I don't know what is happening there, where how somebody could be that far from being able to play and allowed to start a game. That to me is confusing, and maybe it has to do with Zach Tom not being fully honest and trying to do his best and thinking he can grit through it. But it seems like there is a change in the way it is approached with injuries.
I guess, Rodgers probably played through some stuff he shouldn't have, but they still allowed him to do that.
I think Rodgers is a different case. I think he sort of gets to dictate.
Yeah, but same thing with, I think A.J. Hawk played through an injury that Aaron Rodgers pointed out one time. Yeah, played through it because he was always available and just didn't make the injury report. So I think there are certainly examples of them letting him do it. And I would say the Jaden Reed thing, it's not like he broke his collarbone because of the Jones factor, right? That was, when he was out there, he seemed fairly, if you didn't know that he had a Jones fracture, would you have known he was dealing with any sort of injury watching him on the field? I would make the argument that I could not tell, that he looked like the typical Jaden Reed. So that obviously was a pain tolerance thing that he decided and could have played through had he not broken his collarbone. The Zach Tom thing, this is to me a one of one, but it's still worth asking the question of, okay, how was he allowed to go out there if this was going to potentially be the result after one play?
Right. That's to me is the big concern, is who's making the decision, who's passing it off, who's saying we are going to give him the ability to go, because obviously they were prepared in the event that Zach Tom wouldn't be able to play. That was part of their consideration. But to get on the field and play one play.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out, guys. Like, how many plays would it have been justified? If he played the first half, are you going, well, he still hurt himself, but he played the first half at least. So we got good offensive line play from Zach Tom et al. For the first half of the game. Like, we talked earlier about playing the results. This is sort of a playing the results thing as well. I'm trying to figure out if you get a half of football out of Zach Tom, are you going, well, it was worth the gamble?
No, if he misses more time, then it's not worth the gamble. That's where it's not worth it. Like, even if he only played a half and now he has to miss 6 more weeks by playing a half, that's not worth it. It's just because you want him back as soon as possible. And the only thing, again, that makes sense in my head is that Joshy's right. It was a complete tear, and it's okay. You can't make it any worse. It's a pain tolerance thing. He thought he was going to be able to tolerate the pain, and he couldn't. That's the only thing that makes sense in my head of, yeah, it can't get worse. If you think you can handle the pain and still be effective, then you can go out there. Zach Tom decided to give it a go. But I don't know how you don't realize that.
Right.
Before you step on the field. Not that you're going that hard in practice, but to go down like he did, I would think that you would take a couple practice reps and realize, yeah, I can't. I'm not going to be able to handle full speed Myles Garrett coming after me.
Yeah, to me, that would justify it more. It would make it a more of a forgivable mistake if it
would be an understandable one.
Right. If everyone understood, like, hey, he thinks he can go. We're going to trust him. It's all pain. He can't do anything worse. He can't miss more time. But it just is so strange to end up in that spot and not have somebody tell him, hey, we don't think you. I mean, you said you had trouble running.
He was having, that was the report. Like, he was having trouble running on Tuesday. That's why nobody thought he was actually going to play in this game despite being questionable.
Also, a lot of conversation about Zach Tom, but also I'm seeing a lot of reaction to Aaron Banks. And, of course, that is also a question of availability, a question of consistency, a question of do you trust him as a member of the offensive line? Because it does feel like he has been chronically injured would be a nice way to put it, Gabe.
Yeah.
Has he completed a game yet?
Did he complete the first one?
I don't think so.
No, he didn't. That's right. Because, and then he missed the second game. And now, so he's 0 for 3. 0 for 3. And injuries were kind of the question mark about him coming in because he's not somebody who had played every single game for the 49ers before he came in, and the Packers decided that they thought it was still worth the gamble. I mean, he played 13 games last year for San Francisco, so he didn't miss a ton of games, but didn't play the full complement. And now he's had a back injury, a groin injury, and an ankle injury, and we're about to head into week 4. Anything you get out of him at this point, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised with. Hopefully he can be out there because, again, I got to imagine Tom's missing significant time. And you kind of trust Belton. You trust Morgan. You don't have anybody else you trust behind those two guys on the offensive line. There is no depth there as of right now. And I'm sure Goody's going to be scouring to try to find more offensive linemen to try to bring into this team.
Reaction rolling in on the Carbless Talk and Text line this morning. Remember, you can get your reaction in. I'm concerned with the offensive line, says Justin in Jacksonville. Just seems like they can't get anything going, and when they do, they get called for holding. I mean, we're talking about the injuries and, being, not as productive as you want to be. But, yes, there is the issue with the holding penalties. 14 penalties in yesterday's game. I believe I saw 7 of those coming in the fourth quarter. Not all on the offensive line, to be clear. That was a total team effort there. Let's go out to the phone line. We got Cheesehead Bucky, who's been waiting patiently on the line to react to yesterday's loss, 13-10 to the Browns. Good morning, Cheesehead Bucky.
Good morning. I just wanted to call in and say that I 100% trust Jordan, and I think a lot of people are overlooking what Gabe said. For him to make that error on that interception, we can't make up excuse for why it happened, but for him to have the composure to drive us down and then get us in field goal range, and then Matt chose to run the ball 3 times into the offensive line, I don't think we can ask anything more out of Jordan because he got us in the game-winning position after making that error, showed the composure to get us right down the field. I mean, I trust Jordan. I think we need to clean some things up offensively. Offensive line looked horrible yesterday, including Jordan Morgan. But I'm not worried for the fans that were calling in last week talking Super Bowl and all this and all that. I don't think this game against this great D-line, well, not great, but elite D-line that Cleveland has, I don't think it's a mark on the season. And I think we've just got to learn from it. Like the one caller said, I think it is a good, humbling moment after the youngest team in the league, was sitting sky high. So appreciate you taking my call. You guys have a great rest of your day.
800-990-3776 if you want to react this morning to the Packers loss 13-10 the final. Packers are 2-1, and of course they have the Dallas Cowboys, who got whomped yesterday by none other than the Chicago Bears. Wild. Any given Sunday, huh, Gabe?
No, the Cowboys, the defense stinks. I saw a tweet from Dan Orlovsky earlier today where he said the Cowboys playing zone is literally the worst zone he's ever seen on tape. Literally the worst zone he has ever seen. And from my understanding, Dan Orlovsky watches a lot of tape. Spent a lot of time, a lot of years watching tape and film. That's how bad the Cowboys
sort
pass
of part of the
defense
gig,
is.
I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, well, again, this is what happens when this is the Packers' next opponent. So hopefully Jordan Love and this offense can get right. But, you know, I hope they're licking their chops, given that the Cowboys allowed a washed Russell Wilson to throw for a career high in passing yards last week, and then allowed Caleb Williams to look like Joe Montana yesterday.
Meanwhile, the Brewers won the NL Central yesterday, and if you want to hit up Potawatomi Sportsbook before a home game but need a ride to the game, you can hit 2 balls with 1 bat by hitching a ride on the Potawatomi Game Day Shuttle. Make any purchase in the sportsbook or same-day sports bet to get a wristband and a seat on the shuttle. Now, again, we just got the final home series. So if this is something that'll work for you, you're running out of time to do it. Shuttles begin approximately 1 hour before first pitch, and return shuttles run nonstop for 1 hour after the game. For more, visit Potawatomi.com. Bet above the rest. And speaking of bets, y'all know I bet on the Brewers to win the NL Central, right? Plus 425 back on April 1st. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Little cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Did you cash it last night, or are you going over it today?
No, I got a whole stack of them, though. I got a whole stack of bet slips I'm going to bring over there, including a couple of Jacob Mizorowski strikeout ones from earlier this year that I've just been holding on to. So, yeah, we'll be making a trip to Potawatomi. I hope that you guys will as well. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy right after this.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Well, we're still dealing with one accident, 894 westbound at Loomis. It's off on the right shoulder, so at least we got that going for us. We do still have delays, though, from Forest Home all the way around the hill up to National Avenue. On northbound 4394, that's backing up around the Plainfield curve all the way up past Oklahoma Avenue. We've also got a crash in Waukesha County. This is on Highway F on the ramp to get onto 94 eastbound, so just heads up with that. Traffic is brought to you by Comfort Awnings. Extend your outdoor space with a retractable awning or screen like I did with my friends at Comfort Awnings. Custom designed to fit your home. Get your free estimate at comfortawnings.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, partly cloudy, warm and humid. A chance for afternoon showers and storms, a high of 78. Tonight, chance of showers or storms, mostly cloudy, a low of 62. Weather is brought to you by Infinity Exteriors, dedicated to saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Mother Nature can be unpredictable. Your roof, siding, and windows shouldn't be. We install peace of mind with transparency and quality guaranteed. Visit infinityexteriors.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Dance of sunlight on water.
Shimmering, sparkling, beautiful, hypnotic.
Houses that overlook a gorgeous body of water are the most highly desired houses in the world.
The Bellamare collection of fine jewelry features classic white diamonds, flanked and surrounded by rare and exotic blue diamonds.
Bellamare means beautiful water.
Bellamare, sunlight on water, glimmering and twinkling.
The dance is enticing.
The look is spectacular.
The impact is exciting.
Blue and white diamonds created in the heart of Mother Nature
will dance and sing on the body of a glittering, sparkling woman.
Bellamare. This blue and white beauty of sunlight on water
should be worn on the fingers,
the wrist,
the neck, and the ears
of the woman you love.
The Bellamare collection is available only at Kessler's.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Turn those hoop dreams into reality with Precision Sports, your one-stop shop in southeastern Wisconsin for Mega Slam, Ironclad, and Dominator basketball hoop systems. Installation of new or old hoops and completely customizable painted court lines. PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Stay up to date on the green and gold all season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
At Tony Wendorf & Associates First Weber Group, we believe in the human side of real estate. For us, it's faith, family, and friends in that order. We live that every single day. I'm Tony Wendorf. We move fast, negotiate with confidence, and communicate clearly so our clients win. We operate from a place of gratitude, having donated nearly $200,000 back to our community since 2020. You deserve a team that delivers a luxury experience no matter the price point. Contact us today to get started. Tony Wendorf & Associates, trusted knowledge, superior service. Contact us at wendorfteam.firstweber.com.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
And then you have Raj, who I didn't think he just didn't have the body type of a right tackle.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question. Who the hell are you talking about?
What's his name? Yash.
Raj? Like, I was thinking, okay,
Who's Raj? You tell us, buddy.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Connie's Frozen Pizza, the cornmeal dusted crust, all natural ingredients. What's not to love? They've got a BOGO sale going on right now as well. Pick and save at Metro Market stores so you can enjoy pizzeria quality without the pizzeria prices. Again, Connie's, it's unlike any other crust you've had with any other frozen pizza. So stock up. This BOGO deal valid September 10th through the 30th, so you still have a little over a week to pick these up. Buy one, get one. Connie's Frozen Pizza at your local Pick and Save and Metro Market stores.
People feeling all kinds of feels this morning. Ronnie in the 262 says Matt LaFleur will ultimately hold this team back from ever getting over the hump. Jump. He's a really good coach, but he's too soft too often. His personality resonates with players. He's generally good for performance, but I don't think he has that toughness gear needed to hold people accountable and create an identity that will get them over the hump. Reaction rolling in this morning. Lots of people feeling strong things. Do you trust Jordan Love? Do you not trust Jordan Love? Do you trust Matt LaFleur? Do you not trust Matt LaFleur? What is your concern about the offensive line? Are they spreading the ball around too much? It seems like the one area that people are pretty confident in is the defense. So bravo. Good job. Defense coming through, because special teams is not. Special teams is the other area that people have a lot of issues. We got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Sorry about the tight turnaround, but we got to get to Rob Demovsky. He will, of course, bring his insight to the show right after this.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
We're still dealing with one accident, 894 westbound at Loomis. It's off on the right shoulder, so at least we got that going for us. We do still have delays, though, from Forest Home all the way around the hill up to National Avenue. On northbound 4394, that's backing up around the Plainfield curve all the way up past Oklahoma Avenue. We've also got a crash in Waukesha County. This is on Highway F, on the ramp to get onto 94 eastbound, so just heads up with that. Traffic is brought to you by Comfort Awnings. Extend your outdoor space with a retractable awning or screen like I did with my friends at Comfort Awnings. Custom designed to fit your home. Get your free estimate at comfortawnings.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, partly cloudy, warm and humid, a chance for afternoon showers and storms, a high of 78. Tonight, chance of showers or storms, mostly cloudy, a low of 62. Weather is brought to you by Infinity Exteriors, dedicated to saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Mother Nature can be unpredictable. Your roof, siding, and windows shouldn't be. We install peace of mind with transparency and quality guaranteed. Visit infinityexteriors.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
It's Jason Wilde from Wilde & Tausch. Upgrade your industrial supply services with Lakeland Supply, your trusted ISO-certified partner for custom packaging, shipping supplies, janitorial, and safety supply solutions. With over 40 years of industry excellence, Lakeland Supply is a proven one-stop source with over 95% of their products made in the U.S., and they treat their customers like family. Personalized service with a national reach. That's what Lakeland Supply does. Visit lakelandsupply.com to discover how they can make your business better.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here, and the Pickler Menominee Falls is now open. Your home for pickleball. 9 premium indoor courts with unlimited play, leagues, tournaments, and clinics all included in your membership. Sign up today for open play spots or check out Learn to Play sessions and clinics. Members get 4 clinics a month included. Memberships start at just $119 a month. Check out all the options at thepickler.com. That's PICKLR.com. And I'll see you on the court.
Paying extra for tire care is BS. You know, bad service. So at Midas, we're rolling out our BS-free tire guarantee, included with paid installation and tax on every purchase. You'll pay nothing for flat replacements, nada for flat repairs, and zilch for tire rotations every 5,000 miles. That's $0 for all that. So with this limited lifetime tire guarantee, you'll pay a whole lot of nothing compared to what the other guys charge for tire care. That's the BS-free tire guarantee, only at Midas.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check Kirk Herbstreit's pregame analysis first, before talking to your brother-in-law.
In this game, the key thing to watch will be the offensive line versus their front seven. If they can get pressure without blitzing, this could be a long night.
Okay, Kirk.
I know stuff.
Ooh, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Grand slams and walk-offs. If you haven't jumped on the bandwagon by now, what are you waiting for? Siding Unlimited is Milwaukee's very own national champions. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows? Our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
Milwaukee College Prep, redefining what's educationally possible so more children can pursue their dream. Join me, Craig Karmazin, and Milwaukee College Prep Thursday, October 23rd at Venue 3 at the 3rd Street Market Hall, and take a stand in closing the opportunity gap for Milwaukee scholars. Your support means quality education is accessible to over 2,000 scholars in Milwaukee. Enjoy food, drinks, and a chance to learn more. Purchase tickets at 2025. TakeAstand.GiveSmart.com. That's 2025. TakeAstand.GiveSmart.com.
Josh, I love the intros, but man, that's last year's intro.
ESPN's #1 source for green and gold information.
Oh,
yeah. Hey.
Once again, Rob.
Cracking. He's cracking the whip.
We did this last time. You have to speak on the show for me to give you an intro.
You know what? You're right.
Our most musically inclined and bald guest.
I feel like a jerk. I really do. Like, that was terrible.
It's Rob Demovsky on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Just to recap some of the words that Joshy has used to describe the loss yesterday: preposterous, sloppy, ugly, embarrassing, frustrating, angering, collapse. All appropriate, right, Rob?
Yeah, you could add like almost historic and monumental to those because they don't lose like this very often. I tweeted out a stat from our ESPN research department that I think they're now 303-2 in games where they've led by 10 or more points with 4 minutes left in the game. The one loss being yesterday, and the previous loss in that situation being the Seattle NFC Championship game.
Oh,
that's some pretty bad company.
Oh, God. As if the morning couldn't get any worse. Rob just told us that yesterday's loss was comparable to that loss, which I'm sure people by now have forgotten all about, right, Gabe? That's one that's easy to just wash away.
Nobody's thought about that in years, clearly, obviously. Rob, my biggest concern right now is the offensive line. So let's just go ahead and start with Zach Tom. How did they get to a spot where he was even allowed to play if he ended up only lasting one play?
Matt LaFleur asked that question rhetorically yesterday in the press conference. I mean, of all the things that happened yesterday, I think that one, might be the most, it's probably gotten the least amount of discussion, and it's probably the most important going forward. I mean, aside from the actual loss itself. This team never lets guys play, or they didn't used to let guys play if there was a possibility that they could re-injure themselves or make the injury worse, and that's exactly what happened. And I'm telling you what, we talked about this on the pregame show. Gabe, I thought, no way does he play. I mean, he could barely run in practice on Wednesday and Thursday. And then when he took the field for his even after he was active, like he was not. They had to run. Their tunnel was on one side, and where the offensive linemen warm up was on the far end of the stadium. And I watched him run down there, and I said, well, maybe he's only active in an emergency situation because they only have 51 guys on the roster, so you only needed 3 guys to be inactive. So I thought, well, maybe they're just activating him in an absolute worst case scenario where if they lost a bunch of guys that he would play, and that was clearly not the case. I mean, they intended to play him, and I wonder, and I've not gotten any information on this yet, but I asked Zach Tom on I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. I said, is this possible surgical thing? It's those core muscle, sports hernia, whatever type surgeries. And he said, no, I tore it, but I didn't tear it completely where it needs surgery. And well, now I wonder if he tore it completely.
Rob Demovsky hanging out with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy as he does each and every Monday during the NFL season. Yesterday, Homer was hosting the postgame show, does a fantastic job for us here on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. Here's what he had to say about Jordan Love. Take a listen.
You cannot trust Jordan Love. I don't care if they're paying him $100 million. I don't care how good you think he is, but you cannot trust him. That is done and over. You must recognize one of his weaknesses, and there are other strengths, is his ability to do incredibly stupid things, and you cannot give him the opportunity, because the next time it happens when you do, it's going to cost you something way bigger than this.
That's Homer yesterday on the postgame show. Rob, your reaction to that? And again, look, Homers can sometimes be hyperbolic, but I think the point he's trying to make is that there are these little, I said there's a little bit of a choke gene there where, like, when the game is on the line, when pressure ratchets up, and Gabe points out that he still put them in a position to kick a field goal to win the game, yes, it feels like he tenses up and just can't, like, make the right play at times. What should people's reaction to Jordan Love be after that interception yesterday to Delpit?
Well, there's a lot to digest there, Jen. Let me just start with this. You did say he put them in position to kick that field goal. Well, the biggest play on that drive was a pass interference penalty, 20-yard pass interference penalty, which, I mean, I guess all Jordan Love did on that play was throw it up there. And that was basically the play that got him in the field goal range before it got blocked. But on the bigger picture, like, I get it, but isn't that 28 out of the 32 quarterbacks in the NFL that you could probably say that about? I mean, who would you trust 100% every time, play in, play out, to not make a mistake? I don't think there's very many. I mean, that's the position, Rodgers didn't make risky plays sometimes, but Favre did, and he blew it up. What was Homer saying after Brett threw 6 interceptions in the playoff game against St. Louis? Right, 2 of them were, or 4. Was it 4 interceptions or 6 interceptions?
It was 6.
I can't even remember.
Yeah,
and 2 of them were pick 6s.
That's correct.
On that standard, then Homer probably thinks you can't trust him either. So, I get it. And it was, look, here's the thing. He said he didn't see the guy. So I don't know if that's a choke. He didn't see him. So threw it right to the defensive guy. Bad interception, bad time. And people, here's the thing. If they had run on 3rd and 3, people would have criticized LaFleur for, not putting the foot down like he should in that situation. So you could question it either way. It obviously turned out bad in this case. I don't think that I would agree with that he's a choker or tenses up in big moments. I don't think we have enough data on him yet. And then the flip side point to that is if that's the case, well, then what are your options? Nothing. You don't have any other options.
Going back to the offensive line, I'm assuming Tom's going to be out for a while, given what happened yesterday. Aaron Banks suffers a different injury. The depth of this offensive line is incredibly thin. How do the Packers get better there? Because even when they've been healthy, Rob, there haven't been running lanes for Josh Jacobs the way that they were hoping. And obviously, smaller running lanes yesterday, and then Love was under constant duress as well.
Well, the running thing has been an issue the whole time. The pass protection, new this week, I guess. like, here's the thing with the run game. Until the Packers prove they can run the ball, people are just going to load up on trying to stop it. And, and they're saying we're not going to let Josh Jacobs beat us. And, so 16 carries for 30 yards is just, and twice when they got down in goal-to-go situations inside the 5, he ran both times for no gain. It's just they got a problem there, a twofold problem. One is the injuries, like you mentioned, and the other is the run blocking. Aaron Banks was supposed to be this great run blocker, and, I mean, I know he only played the first half yesterday, but even when he's played, that hasn't helped. So they do have a big issue. I mean, I don't know how much of it is Elton Jenkins moving to center. How much of it is Jordan Morgan playing all over the place. I mean, that guy, I think they're in some ways doing him a disservice by just playing, move him here, move him there, move him everywhere. I think that's a hard thing for a young player to do. So they're in a bad spot right now with the offensive line.
Rob Demovsky hanging out with us. Okay, the explosive plays, the penalties, the turnover, the special teams meltdown. I mean, what is going to be the easiest of all of those things to clean up?
Oh, boy. I mean, you would think, first of all, let's take them. Special teams, they haven't been able to clean up for the last however many years, right? And I don't understand that.
15?
Like, they're different players, different players, different coaches.
Right.
Same results.
So not
there,
that then, if I'm hearing you correctly.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Here's one thing I don't know. Did you mention them getting takeaways themselves? Because they haven't gotten any. And don't give me that Xavier McKinney interception at the end of the half. Like, that was a punt.
I was going to say,
right?
you're of the belief that was basically a punt.
So, yeah, basically then they just have the one. They have the Evan Williams interception from Detroit game.
In the first week, yeah. I mean, one takeaway. This is a team that last year ranked, I think, tied for third or something like that in the NFL with 31 takeaways, 17 interceptions. We talked all training camp about this ball king crap where they were going to punch the ball out and they were going to get all these takeaways. It just shows you that half the stuff that happens in training camp is a bunch of nonsense anyway, because they haven't not even. It's one thing to not recover a fumble. They haven't even forced one. Like, there's plenty of fumbles that get, you knock it out and the offense recovers. They haven't even gotten that. So to me, they've got to fix that defensively, because right now with the way the offense is struggling, you got to give them short fields, and the only way to give them short fields is takeaways. And so it all, it kind of goes hand in hand. But I think the most fixable thing right now is starting to take the ball away like they did last year, because they clearly have the personnel to do it. I'm a little surprised. They've gotten decent pressure on the quarterback. They haven't had a strip sack yet. Maybe that'll come. But they've got to somehow manufacture some takeaways.
How do they get more consistent on offense? Because even, I guess, Rob, when you take a look at the first two games, even though they scored 27 points, you kind of walked away going, kind of left some points on the field there. And this was, I think, kind of, okay, now you're going up against a really good defense, and this is what can happen. You only end up scoring 10 points.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I still think they've got to find a go-to guy. And I know the Packers don't want to hear it, and they don't want to, we don't need a number one wide receiver. We don't, they had nobody. They didn't have a guy who could just go get them, 7 for 125 and a touchdown yesterday. So, I still think maybe I'm in the minority there, but the more and more I've seen this team, struggle to find that since Devontae Adams left, the more and more I'm of a belief that the really good offenses need just an unbelievable stud receiver.
Rob, last thing for you before we let you go. I am seeing on the Carbless Talk and Text line, maybe a mention or two here on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube stream, that you jinxed McManus. What say you?
Well, I mean, my Bold-a-thon prediction was a disaster, right? Because although I know the block kick will count as a miss, but he kicked it. I mean, I talked to the snapper, the holder, and McManus, and they all said the operation was fine. The timing of it was good. That was a penetration issue. So let's not put that one on Brandon McManus just yet. So that's my response.
Just add it to the Jordan Morgan bad day.
I will come clean. I did curse Rob Demovsky's name when he missed that first one.
Early one.
Yeah, I'll take the first one. Yeah, I'll take the first one in the second quarter of the Washington game. That's on me. After that, that's what happened yesterday. I bear no responsibility for.
Great stuff from our friend Rob Demovsky. Rob, have a great week. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, guys. We'll see you.
All right. Well, that was great stuff from Rob Demovsky, and I just told Josh he clipped that because I haven't heard anybody talking about the lack of takeaways. Takeovers? Well, I would have liked for them to have taken over in the fourth quarter of that game. Could you just take over for once? No. The takeaways. He's absolutely right. This defense last year, that was a calling card. And they have not been able to do it consistently this year. And you would think that with the pressure that Micah Parsons and company are supposed to be creating, that would open up those opportunities for those guys.
Turnovers are the fickle thing. They are hard to replicate year over year. It's just one of those things in the NFL. But to Rob's point, they haven't even been close. They haven't forced any fumbles, haven't been any big hits like that. And yeah, that's been a big issue. Of not even getting close to getting one.
I do think just the way offenses are playing, though, it's dink and dunk city.
100%.
The ball is hardly at risk. And every time it's seemingly at risk, they're getting close.
What a great point. It is not fun to watch. I'll tell you that right now. Watching these football games going, can someone throw the ball downfield for the love of God? If you're looking to bring more organization and beauty to your home, I cannot recommend Closets by Design enough. I've been working with Doug and his team in Mequon for the past few months. And guys, I told you, a lot of disorganization, a lot of chaos in my closet. I got a lot of clothes. And the good news is they could handle it. The personal attention they gave my situation was unmatched. They've been a leader in custom storage solutions since 1982, combining quality, beauty, and a commitment to customer satisfaction. And yes, they're a national brand, but they have a team right here in southeastern Wisconsin, based right in Mequon, with a beautiful showroom that you can visit. No obligation, in-home consultations, custom designs, and the best value in the industry. If you are ready to get organized, call Closets by Design in Mequon and tell them Jen from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy sent you.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN. Greg Matzek, Gary Ellerson, the day after reaction show you need in your life.
Who benefits the most from Micah Parsons being on the field? Secondary. Keyshawn Nix.
It's Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Mondays with Greg and Gary.
If you're a quarterback, you've got to get the football out of your hands before you really want to do it. I mean, everybody's getting their wealth with this, but to me, I think it's really the guys in the secondary.
Live from the Potawatomi Sportsbook Studios from 6 to 8 p.m. every Monday on 94.5 ESPN.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night, so for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
At Tony Wendorf and Associates First Weber Group, we do more than close deals. We serve with gratitude and faith-filled purpose. We've sold over $300 million in real estate since 2020, one of the top-ranked real estate teams in Wisconsin, and we're just getting started. What sets us apart? We care. Even if we're not your agent, we'll still help. That's the kind of stewardship the community deserves. If you're buying or selling across southeastern Wisconsin, let us earn your trust. I'm Tony Wendorf, and I want to create your red carpet experience. Contact us at wendorfteam.firstweber.com.
Something exciting is happening at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. On the second floor, you'll find the Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, Milwaukee's destination for bold flavors, fresh sushi, seasonal entrees, and cocktails crafted with care. Start your day with a breakfast that fuels you, stop in for dinner that sparks conversation, or linger late into the evening with drinks designed to inspire. With flavors and drinks for every mood, the Studio is the perfect place to gather, celebrate, and connect. Be boldly social. The Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, now on the second floor at St. Kate the Arts Hotel.
This is Kevin Moret from Mentality. Every day is a silent competition, and with testosterone dropping 1% annually, you're fighting an uphill battle. Your colleagues notice when you lose your edge, your partner senses when your confidence wavers, and without addressing low T, you're set up to fail. No willpower can overcome this hormonal deficit. Mentality's FDA-approved treatments have shown a 30% increase in testosterone levels. Don't let low T define you. Reclaim your power at mentalityhealth.com/radio. That's mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
This
college football moment is brought to you by Serve Pro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. Like on September 24, 2016, when Tulsa found themselves down 31-0 to Fresno State with 10 minutes left in the second quarter. Tulsa fought back to tie the game at 41. And then won 48-41 in double overtime.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
What if a quarterback completed 4 out of his 5 passes, or a point guard hit 4 out of 5 shots from behind the arc? Well, now when you're hiring, you can play at that level, because 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter's technology hustles to find skilled people for your job, and you can invite your top picks to apply. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Unbelievable that they ran all over this vaunted defense,
Why
this
did we
elite
drink the Kool-Aid?
defense.
What Kool-Aid?
Why? It was poop Kool-Aid, and we gobbled it down.
On 94.5 ESPN.
We turn to some funny places for support, but not everyone is a therapist. Not everyone is the one. You can find your right match at BetterHelp. This show sponsored by BetterHelp. Here's the thing, guys. Everybody needs help. And when you find yourself struggling, when you find yourself in a situation where you could use a little bit of assistance, you don't have to rely on your pals. You can go to a professional. BetterHelp has them, lots of them, 30,000 therapists, the world's largest online therapy platform, having served more than 5 million people globally. It is convenient as well. You can join with the click of a button, fit it into your busy life, and you can switch therapists at any time. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/timeout. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout. Josh, you wanted me to rap there. I can tell. And yeah, it has not been the most fun conversation on this Monday morning. We didn't even touch on the Badgers. Good grief, the Badgers. Did you see Mike McCarthy having a little chitty chat?
Wearing a Badger hat, sitting next to Chris McIntosh at the volleyball game.
Wow. I mean, that's going to get tongues wagging.
Well, yeah, because it's a situation where he's like there because his daughter's really good at volleyball. So that's the reason he's there. Chris McIntosh, you cannot put out the statement that you did on Saturday and then be seen sitting next to Mike McCarthy on Sunday. Just can't do it. Got to be better than that.
So what should he have said? Like, hey, I know we were going to hang out at the volleyball. No, I'm saying, what should he have said to McCarthy to cancel the date?
Oh, like, hey.
Bad optics?
We just had a historic, embarrassing loss. I can't be next to an unemployed head coach.
That's a good point.
Pretty simple, because guess what?
Cut and dry.
Mike's going to get it. Mike's going to understand. Like, hey, Mike, you can...
Oh, I thought you meant Mike's going to get it, like Mike's going to get the gig.
No,
and
he's going to understand.
Breaking news from Gabe Neitzel
He's going to understand why you can't... Hey, you can sit in the suite. I'm just not going to be there, Mike.
The optics
Sorry, pal.
Of it, yeah.
You can sit up in the suite. Feel free. Have a good time. I just can't be there.
I will say this, again, seeing Mike McCarthy sitting next to Chris McIntosh made me feel a little warm and fuzzy inside. I love Mike McCarthy. I think he's a great dude. Would I be mad if he all of a sudden was coaching again in the great state of Wisconsin? I would not, Gabe.
I don't think he would be either. I think if offered the job, I think Mike would take it. I firmly believe that. But based on what McIntosh said on Saturday, that job's not going to become available.
Well, what a rough weekend for Wisconsin sports between the Badgers. And again, the highlight was, of course, the Brewers, albeit losing, winning the NL Central, as we all hoped that they would, and getting the first round bye, which you were so adamant about. Why are you gulping? I just saw a gulp.
Woody?
You know, I almost forgot about Brandon Woodruff.
I haven't. I was more gutted about the Woody thing than the Packers loss yesterday.
This was a real heads are falling off weekend for us. Nothing's going right.
Wilde and Tausch, I'm sure they'll be talking about it. They're next on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee.
Well, it looks like things are slowing down still on westbound 894 from about Forest Home into the